Are you trying to land more sync placements in your artist career? Well, I have landed sync placements on Netflix, ABC, and HBO Max, and I want to teach you 5 ways to get your songs to be more likely to get placed on TV and on ads. Before we jump in, I do have a free resource for you. This is my free single release checklist. You can download that at elevatedmusic.co. This checklist will go over everything you need to do for 6 weeks before your single release so you don't miss a single step and you can grow your fan base and grow your music career at the same time. All right, let's jump into the 5 ways to land more sync placements. Number 1 is to create music more regularly. So this old adage of quality over quantity does not necessarily apply here. Yes, you still want to make good songs, but to be honest, I like the idea of someone who's like an artisan who creates something regularly and gets better at it over time, rather than this idea of having this precious song that you just craft and work on and never release it. So with sync licensing, think about a way that you can set up a regular schedule to create and try to get better at producing yourself, or if you're not a producer, work with somebody who is and try to work on a deal where they get a percentage of the sync placement fee rather than having to pay them for every single song you create. So try to shoot for 1 song a month at first, and if you can do even more, the better. But don't let there be huge gaps in between when you create and release songs. Number 2 is to create music with the music supervisors and editors in mind. So in the sync licensing world, there are people called music supervisors who are the ones whose job it is to find music and then put them in with the TV show or the advertisement they're working on. So a music supervisor is someone you want to be creating for, and also the editor. The editor is the person who actually places the music or songs with the picture in the editing room and tries to line them up. So when you're creating music for sync licensing, you want to think about natural places where the editor can cut a song, and also giving them places where there can be a big part of a song like a massive chorus, or a really small part of a song like a really small bridge that doesn't have a ton of instruments on it. So thinking of ways to make your song have an intro, a verse, a chorus, and a bridge with different sections that they can easily cut and interchange in the scene will make your music more likely to get placed. Number 3 is to write the truth. So it's really easy with sync licensing to try to become really superficial or write a bunch of canned or cliche lyrics, but you want to try and stay away from all those things. When you're first starting in the sync world, you might think, oh, this is so easy. I'm just going to write a bunch of throwaway lyrics and who cares because it's sync licensing. The problem is that the world is extremely competitive right now, and so you need to write good songs as well. Now, you can't write a ton of songs with proper names like places or things that will take the listener out of the scene. So again, remember our second recommendation, which is to keep the music supervisor and editor in mind. When you're writing, you also want to write lyrics that will fit for the scene that they're trying to place the music in. So keeping it consistent and keeping a general emotion and vibe that is true to your heart, that will probably get your song placed way more than just writing a bunch of cliche lyrics. Number 4 is to pay attention to trends. So sync licensing is still commercial music. It's not going to be your beautiful artistic music that you might release as an artist. You still want to try to craft it a little bit more towards the marketplace so that people will buy your song. So that said, it's important to still own your artistic integrity, but at the same time, look at things that are working with other artists who are essentially your competitors in the sync licensing marketplace. The best way to do this is to use 2 resources. I like to use TuneFind to find songs that have been placed in TV shows. TuneFind is great. They even do a top 10 trending music list. I think that changes maybe every day or every week. And you can go there, pick those top 10 songs, put them on a Spotify playlist, and try to update it either weekly or monthly so that you're constantly listening to songs that are getting placed and trending highly in TV shows. For advertisements, it's a little trickier, but I recommend going to ispot.tv/browse. And this is a place where you can start clicking on ads and trying to find songs that might be similar to the music you would create. or songs that you can create in a playlist on Spotify and again listen to it. I recommend making both a TV show playlist and an advertisement playlist because you will soon find that they are very different sonic sounds. So keeping them separate will help you decide and learn the difference between what advertising music sounds like versus TV show music. Number 5, and the last tip I have for you today about how to land more sync placements, is to own your artistic lane. It's really easy when you're starting out with sync to try to write to every single brief that's given to you. Maybe you'll try to write hip hop when you're really a folk musician. You'll try to write piano ballads when you're really a guitar player. And you might find yourself getting stretched thin and writing, honestly, music that doesn't really land well with anybody because it's not truly who you are. So as tempting as it may be to try to appeal to everybody, what you really want to do is find your own niche within the sync world and write music that is a sonic fingerprint of who you are as an artist. So think of your favorite artists, like someone like Coldplay or someone like Prince. When you think of those names, you think of a very specific sound. It's the same way with the sync licensing world. You need to fit the marketplace by following certain trends, but stand out by having your own artistic integrity as a musical artist that sounds like something that's pretty much unique to you. Sometimes this can be done through having a unique voice. Other times it can be done by using specific production elements. For example, in my sync licensing project, The Loon, we tend to use a classical guitar a lot, which sets us apart from other indie cinematic folk artists who are probably using pianos or synthesizers. So anything you can do that will make you somewhat unique is an important aspect of sync licensing. I hope you have found these 5 tips helpful. And again, I want to help you out even more with my free single release checklist. You can download this at elevatedmusic.co, and you can get the 6-week checklist that will help you release your next song with ease so that you can gain more fans and grow your music career. All right, I'll see you all next week. Thanks so much for liking, subscribing, and leave some comments if you have questions about sync licensing below.